Wonderstruck, both Rose and Ben are deaf. I found a nonfiction book that may help young readers learn a little bit more about what it is to be deaf. Um, Some Kids Are Deaf is written by Lola M. Schaefer. It's a Pebble book, and it talks a little bit about what deafness is, um, how kids can become deaf, tools for hearing, and a little bit more. Also, in the back, it gives a glossary to help understanding a little bit more about deafness, what some of the tools are they use to communicate. I found a really fun series of books about a little boy named Moses. He is deaf. He is the only member of his family to be deaf. The books are about his adventures. The one I liked the most was Moses Sees a Play. In this book, his classmates and Moses go to see a play performed by the Little Theater of the Deaf. What I really like about this book and the series is that it actually shows you a lot of sign language, American Sign Language. It gives you a really good idea of how Moses communicates. There's several in this series, starting with Moses Goes to School, but also Moses Goes to a Concert, and Moses Goes to the Circus, which happens to be my kid's favorite of the series. In Wonderstruck, Rose is captivated by one actress in particular and likes to go to the cinema to watch silent movies. She seems almost devastated when she finds out that the cinemas are going to start playing movies with sound. Something that struck me is that a lot of readers reading Wonderstruck probably have never seen a silent movie or even know what they are. I found a book to help readers of Wonderstruck better understand and get a little glimpse of what silent movies were like. I found a book by Abby called Silent Movie. This book is actually set up much like a silent movie. It has beautiful black and white illustrations. The book is about a young boy and his family coming to America separately and not being separated, finding each other actually eventually through the movies. Another book I found that's much like silent movies is, I think, done a little bit better, but unfortunately it's for readers slightly younger than might be reading Wonderstruck. But I still thought it was important to point out because I think they might like it. Mo Willems, one of my favorite authors and my kids' favorite authors, has done That Is Not a Good Idea, and it is set up exactly like a silent movie would. All of the words are on completely different pages. It's a fun story. I would say that it's more of a silent cartoon, though. So, whereas Wonderstruck is for middle graders, this might be just a little bit childish for them, but I think they would like it. And I think you get a much better idea of how a silent movie would look. Most of Wonderstruck takes place in New York City in the Museum of Natural History. I found some books about museums, and one particularly about the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. It'll give the readers a little bit of an idea about what it's like in a museum in New York City. The book is about a little girl who goes with her grandmother to the museum for the day. Unfortunately, she can't take her balloon in. So as her and her grandmother go through the museum, and it shows several actual art pieces that are in the Museum of Art there. But also it shows the path the balloon takes. It gets away from where they've tied it up, and it goes through around New York City. So readers also get a little view of New York City through the balloon's eyes. So New York was very important. The layout of New York and the Museum of Natural History to Wonderstruck. So I thought it was important and a good idea for them to get a little glimpse of what it would be like in a museum in New York City. And there you can see it's actually pictures of some of the artwork. So that was a fun book. And the author, Jacqueline Wiseman, does several. So you can't take a balloon into the National Gallery, which is in Washington, D.C., another big city. And you can't take a balloon into the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. So, and again, the balloon gets away from them, so they not only get a view of the museum, but also of the big city. I think the books I discussed would help a reader understand the main components of Wonderstruck a little better. They would get a better glimpse into Rose and Ben's life, what it means to be deaf, what it may be like for a deaf person to go to see a movie or a play, in Moses' case. Also, kids reading this book, I really don't think they would know what a silent movie is like. So I think the books on silent movies might be interesting for them and give them an idea of why Rose was so upset when the cinema was going to start playing movies with sound. I also think Wiseman's balloon books will just help the readers understand a little bit more about museums, their layouts, and the big city. So I hope you enjoy them. I did. I really enjoyed reading Wonderstruck. It was definitely one of my favorites this semester.